A major challenge for us clearly is our import bill, because as your production declines, our imports are growing for the simple reason that we have moved from 14,000 hotel rooms in 2001. We're now at 22,000 hotel rooms. So we are building more hotels, bringing in more guests, and we're eating more imported food because there's not enough food to supply the needs of the hotels. Now, challenge is one of consistency, both in terms of quality, in terms of price, and in terms of actual volume. The other problem that we are facing is the issue of the number of small farmers and the fact that hotels are beginning to move away from supporting small farmers in a direct way. In fact, hotels are now saying that they want to deal with bigger players, whether bigger consolidators or bigger farmers who can deliver the produce in a cold truck, that can maintain the cold chain and maintain the level of quality that's required. So there is a challenge that we are facing. We did a study, and one of the benefits of being an academic is that we tend to approach things differently. We ask a lot of questions, and when we don't get answers, we have to do the research ourselves, which is sometimes can be quite challenging, getting data. But we have analyzed the data from Customs Department for imports over the past 5 years. And what it clearly demonstrates is that A, roughly 2/3 of what Jamaica imports cannot be immediately replaced. Partially because we import grapes and we import many things that we really will not be able to produce, not given our climatic conditions. And certainly we won't be able to produce competitively. But we recognize that about 1/3 of what we import can be produced locally. And we're talking about everything from bananas to sweet potatoes to potatoes, everything, literally. The cabbages, you name it, lettuce, you name it. Basic stuff that can and are produced by Jamaican farmers at the requisite level of quality. So the issue of quality is not a problem. So that's part of one of the challenges that we have been, the things that we have looked at, and where we see the greatest potential for growth in the sector in terms of replacing those importation with locally produced products. For us, the key strategic imperative is that agriculture must reinvent itself. I mean, I think over the last 2 years, and given the amount of research that we have done, it is very clear to us that if agriculture in Jamaica is to survive, it has to be reinvented. How we approach it has to be different. And it has to be a public-private sector partnership, because and we talked a little bit about that. It has become critical because simply the state doesn't have the resources, nor is willing to put that kind of resource into the kind of approaches that have failed in the past. And in our history, we have had a program called AMC where the government used to buy up all the produce and then they got stuck with it, couldn't sell it, and of course they ran into losses. So there has to be a new model. And certainly we are working to solve some of those challenges. But a critical missing component of this process is a lack of relationship between the research at the universities and all research institutions and the farmers on the ground. Literally, our farmers are somewhat rudderless. They're in a boat with no oars. They're just like floating on the sea. And they're left to the vagaries of the weather, the vagaries of outbreaks at different points of certain diseases, and the link that needs to be established between the research centers and the farmers really is weak at this point and needs to be strengthened.